So today I'm going to briefly chat with you about step 2 of what to do after your partner cheated. How do you recover from that? So last time we talked about, or I shared with you the last thing you do, step 9. And then I shared technically the first thing you're supposed to do is grieve. Allow yourself permission to feel the pain of loss and just ride out the waves of grief. If you've ever been in the ocean, you know what I'm talking about. The waves hit you and then recede, and hit you and then recede. Grief is the same way. We're riding out that grief until we come to the point where we can accept that this is who we are. This is what's happened. This is our loss. Now, somewhere between finishing up step 1 and preparing your heart for step 2 is where we're going to talk about now. Because I don't think grief is ever a process that's ever fully finished. You can always kind of feel the current of the loss. Imagine again being in the ocean. You can kind of feel it. It's just less severe over time. Step 2 we're going to talk about is this overused phrase. Way overused in the corporate world. So I'm going to frame this up a little bit differently. Imagine working someplace that was really toxic. Your administrators were Machiavellian, they were duplicitous, they were deceitful, they were perverse. They put all these burdens on you, and you're stressed out, and you're tired, and you're exhausted, and then you tell your administrator, like, man, we need a break. And you know what they say? Here's what they say. Are you ready? Here it comes. It starts with S. Self-care. Are you doing self-care? And it makes your brain want to explode. Because here's the truth about self-care. Trying to provide self-care for self in a toxic system is like the skeleton sitting at the buffet and continuing to eat and expecting to get nourished. It doesn't work. So step 2, I'm going to call it self-care to the extreme. I had to give you that illustration so you didn't quickly dismiss me saying self-care, because that's become a dismissing word recently. But I don't think it needs to be dismissed right now. Here's what I mean by self-care to the extreme. It's 2-layered. 1, I think it's really important that you surround yourself with people who are affirming to you. Maybe they don't know about the affair. That's okay. Probably the less people that know about that, the better. But the people that see the strength in you, to see the good in you, because I suspect right now, you probably don't have much self-esteem. Your confidence is probably lost. So you need to be surrounded, what's called community care, necessarily like a community that's providing care to yourself, that's caring for you, that's sowing and investing into you, letting you know that you're important and that you matter, that you can find your esteem again. Sometimes we got to build that. And sometimes that's hard. And other times it's all around us and we just don't see it. The second layer of self-care is just that. Now, I don't mean go for a walk to deal with your anxiety or suppress the cognitive distortions to make you think differently. No. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about do something that's good for you that maybe you haven't done in a long time. Maybe it's crocheting. I tried crocheting. Not my thing. I feel like I can't do it. Maybe it's that fishing trip. Maybe you need to take it. Maybe you like to travel and you've been putting it off. Maybe you need to set a goal for yourself of something that's a hard thing that you can accomplish, to where on the other side of this accomplishment, you feel good about yourself. When I'm talking about self-care to the extreme, I'm talking about surround yourself with people that care for you. And I'm talking about create an obstacle or a challenge or a task that lies in front of you that is doable with diligence and work, and you can feel yourself esteemed when you accomplish it. 2 caveats. And I got to say this because it's happened. I do not suggest a face tattoo. Okay? True story. Don't do a face tattoo. Second, do the best you can to avoid any unnecessary debt. If it's within your resources, take a trip to Italy and you've always wanted to do it, take a trip to Italy. Go by yourself. It might be good for you. In this second step, we are reminding ourselves that I matter. I'm important. We're reminding ourselves that I can meet my needs. And so the process of grief becomes less destructive because we are realizing that we haven't lost everything. We still have ourself and our identity and our interests. I don't know. Maybe think bucket list right now. What are some things on my bucket list I would like to do? And then go do them. Care well for yourself. Invite other people to come around you who also will care well for you. This could be hobby groups. This could be a spiritual group. This could be church. It could be employees. It could be co-workers. Yes, I mean, you don't work in that Machiavellian toxic environment I was talking about. Care well for yourself and invite others around you to do that as well. Because you need it right now. And it's okay to need it, and it's okay for you to feel like you want it. Because yourself has been stripped of you. Time to find it again. Because step 3, we're going to utilize that self to do some really cool things. We'll talk about that next.